everyone, I popped on with a few things to show you, and I'm going to do a little tutorial as well. So first of all, I wanted to show you these. I did these for it was a bingo challenge, and in the bingo challenge you get 5 numbers, and those numbers each correspond to either a colour, a theme. It'll say probably butterfly or button, something like that. So I got, for this one, I got texture, fabric, butterflies, yellow and stuffed pocket. So that was my contribution for that, and I thought if anybody liked that, I could do a tutorial if you'd like me to on that one. And then this one, it was rectangle, stuffed pocket, bow, stamps. What was the 5th one? Oh, and green. So rectangle, green, bow, stamps and stuffed pockets. Yeah. So I used 3 pieces of 8x8 paper to make this in the 3 different colours of green. It's a 3-tier pocket. So there's one there, and there's one there, and then this is a belly band across the front with things tucked inside it. On the back you could do journaling, or you could glue it into your page as a belly band or as another pocket. So very versatile. If you want a tutorial on those, let me know and I'll do one for you. It's very straightforward though. And then today for a challenge, I've made this. So this is made from a junk mail envelope. You can see where the window was here. What I did was, on mine, I wanted my flap to come over the front like that, but it actually went the other way. So I cut it off, and then I stuck a piece of card on like that, so it went the other way. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do that with the one for the tutorial, but just in case you wanted to know, that's what I did. I made a little dangle. I put a purple bow on there to go with this purple around here. I decoupaged the envelope with a napkin. I'll show you how to do that. I printed out "Those who don't believe in magic will never find it" and put that on that purple backing. I found a couple of little journaling cards, and that was that. You don't have to put the pocket on the front. You don't have to decorate around your window. You can cover your window up if you want. And we had to make this, you can see it's got an accordion. It expands with an accordion hinge at the side, and inside it has a notebook. So all we had to do was make the little folio out of a junk mail envelope. It had to have a closure, and it had to have a removable notepad. So that's what I did, and my closure was my paper clip, and I decorated it with a ribbon there and a dangle on the other end, and on the back it's plain. So I'm going to show you how to do one of those. If you want to make one along with me, you will need some white paper to make your hinges with. You will need some card if you want to make the pocket and you want to turn the flap around, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You will need 2 napkins, one to cover the envelope and one to cover the pocket, and to make the extra flap if needed. I didn't have 2 the same, which upset me because these were gifted to me, and I didn't have 2 the same in that one, but I really wanted to use the strawberries. You'll need a junk journal envelope. We're all getting these at the moment in the UK. They're our ballot paper envelopes, so you probably will have one of those if you're in the UK. I printed out some words. I printed out notes to put on my notebook, and I printed out "Those who don't believe in magic will never find it again," because I'll put them in different journals. You'll need some note paper to make your notebook with, and you'll need a cover for your notebook. Mine is just a piece of paper folded in half with that will be slotted inside it. So yes, you will also need, I use the stick glue to stick the napkin on with, but sometimes the tacky glue, and I'll use the tacky glue to like glue the decoration around the window because it's a stronger glue, and that's fabric, not paper. So I've got my glue, my fabric. This is the glue I'm going to use for the fabric. I've got a little bit of decoration to go around the window. This is all optional. You can make it as fancy or as plain as you like. I've got some pink ribbon to tie onto my paper clip, and then in my little dish I've got the things to make my dangle with, and I've got my paper clip. I do have my bone folder, which is actually plastic, but anyway, you know what I mean. So the one I'm going to put on the, I don't know which one to put on the envelope and which one to make the pocket with. I think I might put, I don't know. Right. I think I'm going to put the white one on the pocket, and then I'll the white one on the envelope, and then I'll use this one to decorate, I think, otherwise it might look a bit sickly. Yeah. So the first thing we need to do is open your envelope. Well, you don't even need to open it up, but make sure that it's nice and straight and you've got all your bits you need. Then you open your envelope up by cutting a very, very narrow piece down the side here, on each side. Just a little thin slither, and then that will open up your envelope like so. So to me, the flap should be on the other side. That's just me. That's how I like my flap to be. But if you want to put your flap on this side and not on the other side, you can just cover your whole envelope like this. Don't cut your flap off or anything. Cover it like this. Let me just move those out of the way a second. So I would cover the whole envelope with glue, with my glue stick, and then I will take all the backing off of the, should just fit. It will fit without that thing going over, won't it? I think I'll do it like that, and we'll leave that bit because that will be covered up anyway, won't it? It's not quite long enough, is it, to cover the, this must be a bit of a bigger envelope than normal. Yeah, use whatever size envelope you want, but anyway, that's how I'm going to do it. And then I can use a bit from the side here just to go across there. But because I want my flap to be on the other side, I'm going to cut this flap off. So I'm going to cut this flap off here. Remember, if you don't have any napkins, you can use tissue paper. You could just use thin, like printer paper would do it, I think. So I've cut my flap off there because I want my flap on here. I'm gonna glue a piece of card on there to make another flap. That's what I'm going to do. So I've got my card here. You don't have to do this if you don't mind your flap being at the back. I want mine at the front. So we'll have to go to just to there. Where's my pencil gone? I didn't decide to do this until I'd actually covered the envelope last time, so and then to and I can join that up with my ruler. And draw a line. And then I can put it to the correct width. Like so. Now I know this is not the right piece, but I'm just checking it for length. Whether it'll be the right length or not. I think it might be, you know. Maybe a bit longer, let's see. So we want it to go, going to be glued on there like that, right down to there. And then it's going to be turned over just there like that. Is that right? Nearly. And then I can cut it off to about there, I think. Yeah. Just cut that off. I tell you, I have to make things more difficult than I need to, don't I? I mean, I just think the flap should be at the front. It's just me. I just don't like it at the back. I want my flap at the front. Yeah, on my other one that I did, I had to use 2 napkins on the actual thing, envelope, and I ended up with a seam right down the middle of the front, which was rather a silly thing to do, really, wasn't it? So yes, anyway, we'll ignore that. We'll ignore that I did that. Right, so that should fit nicely into there to save me getting... Oh, I can just turn it like that, can't I? And I can put some glue on here like this. Not sure we actually even need that bit on there. Never mind. Then we can glue this down. Very carefully to make sure that it's straight. There we go. There we are, and then that will close like that, and that will go over the top like that. Also, if your envelope has got writing on it like this, you could cover it up, paint it over with some white paint or some gesso, just to get rid of the, the text will show through your napkin. If that bothers you, just paint over that with a bit of gesso, or any white paint for that matter. Otherwise, as I say, it will show through. So let's just do that quick. I have got some gesso here. That's that done. So the next thing we're going to do is glue our paper and put our napkin on it. So we need to get our napkin down to its 1 layer. I think these are just 2, it's a 2-ply one. Yeah, so you just need to peel the back off it like that. Save that bit for dabbing up glue and things. It'll come in handy for that. Have your napkin ready at the side and get your glue ready and just glue. As I say, that gesso will work as glue, I think. Now just glue your whole thing, including your new flap if you've made one. If you haven't made a new flap, just glue your old one. Just glue your opened out. Oh, look at that. Fetch the flipping gesso off it. Try not to get round the gesso. Try not to touch the gesso with your glue. Yeah, I've just fetched it off there completely, look. Ah, I am a twit. Ideally, you should wait for your gesso to dry, but for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm not going to. Don't get glue on your window if you can help it, because you don't want you, unless of course you want to cover up your window. If you want to cover up your window and you're not worried about having a window, do cover it with glue. I don't want glue on mine because I'm going to cut it out and make a feature of it. You don't have to do that. If you just want to do the basic folder, you can just cover up the whole thing, cover up your window and everything. So then, once you've got all your glue on, you can go on to lay your napkin on. Don't worry about it being perfectly straight. It'll be a miracle if it's perfectly straight. I'm telling you, it'll be a miracle. So up there like that. Let's just going to do it to the side because I want to be able to cut off. Well, that's as crinkly as anything, but it doesn't matter. Once you've got it on, it just adds a bit of texture, that's all. I want to cut this side off and glue it across here, look. That's what my plan is. So get my long scissors and just cut down the side here. So if you're planning on putting a pocket on and you haven't made an extra flap, you could use this strip to put on a piece of card to make your pocket. I'm going to have to make my pocket out of a different piece of napkin because I need this one to go on here. So yeah, I don't think I can quite match it up, but I can, at least I can cover it up with some napkin, can't I? There we are. I need a bit more glue under there. There we go. Then we can okay. Then we can trim off the extra napkin. Okay. So now what we have is this. Now, if you don't want to use your window as a feature, just leave it like that. But if you do, you'll need to very carefully cut out the napkin from on it. And because you haven't put any glue on it, it shouldn't be too difficult. So we'll just trim around, very carefully trim around the napkin, around the window with a little pair of scissors. You'll see where you need to cut because you can see through the napkin. Don't worry if it's a bit tatty because you can cover it with a bit of ribbon or a bit of trim, you know, anything like that. That's why I covered mine with a bit of trim, to cover up the tattiness of it, because I made a right pig's ear of mine. Yeah, I did. But you can't tell, can you, because I covered it with a trim. So that's that. And then you can decide whether you want to put something behind your window or whether you're going to have your book cover as the behind part of your window. I think I'm going to find a little picture to fit on the back of mine. So what you do is measure. Mine needs to be 4.5 by 9.5, really. 4.5 by 9.5. So I can measure and print that out on my computer, or you can just find a pretty card and cut or position it behind your window. You could get a piece of card like this and draw something on it. You could stick some flowers on it with, you know, with stickers, anything like that, and pop that behind it and glue it on. When you've got your image sorted, test it for size. Yeah, that's going to be perfect, isn't it? Look at that. Really pretty those roses are. And I am going to use pink on the other napkin and pink on the ribbon and things. So I wanted, you know, a bit more pink in there. So I'm going to put glue on the white part or roll around the edge of my picture. Like that. This is, as I say, it's all optional. You don't have to do any of this if you don't want to. Just leave it covered up with your napkin if you want to. It is easier to do it before you put your accordion hinges in there. We'll do that next, which is why I'm doing it now before I put my, because the accordion hinges will close up the pocket. So like that, and come on. Happy with that. And then we go on to our accordion pockets. For that you need, this is just plain printer paper, and I'm going to measure, if I fold this plain printer paper in half like this, that's all I'm going to do, and then cut the edge off it, because I've measured there, and it comes, if I have that at the bottom, it'll come nearly to the top. It doesn't matter if it's not all the way to the top, so that's why I've done it like that. That'll be fine. And then we're going to use half of this piece per side for our hinges. So I'm going to cut that in half too. Now, if you have a scoreboard, you can use it. I do have a scoreboard, but I want to show people who don't have one. So if you have a scoreboard, do score it about 1/4 of an inch all the way across, and then you'll have your score lines to make your accordion piece. But if you don't have a scoreboard, just turn your paper like this. We used to do this at school to make a fan, remember when you were making a fan at school, you did it like this. Then you turn that bit over like that, then you turn it back again. Yeah, I remember making fans at school like this. So just do that, and then do that all the way along, and then you will end up with an accordion hinge. There we go. It is easier if you score it, but if you don't have a scoreboard, it's still easy enough to do. So that's one side done. And we'll do the other side. So about 1/4 of an inch. I'll tell you what, I can't eyeball measurements for toffee, so yeah, but I do know that, you see, I saw this on So Darn Twisted, and she showed one that she'd made. I didn't watch the tutorial, but I sort of got how she did it. So this is how I'm doing it. And she did say about 1/4 of an inch on your scoreboard if you have one. So anyone doing it on a scoreboard, do it like that. There we go. So that's our 2 accordions. And what we do now is glue both sides, glue one side of each accordion pocket. Yeah, glue one side of each accordion pocket. So I've done that one side there and that one side there. And then open up your pocket and glue the glued part down. Put it right down to the bottom and glue it down. Same on the other side. Right down to the bottom and glue it down. There we go. Once that's in place, we put glue on the other side all the way up, just like that. Okay, and then put your envelope over and glue it to the other side of the accordion fold. There we go, that's right. Right-ish. Got a bit of a lump there. So, yeah, we get in there. There we go. So when you open your envelope, you've got your very fancy accordion pocket at the side there. See? How easy was that? So then all there is left to do really is to decorate it. Now I am going to round the corners on my flap. Again, not necessary. If you don't want to, you don't have to. So rounding the corners. 1, 2. Yeah, we've done pretty well with that. I'm pleased that it is still a bit damp, but yeah, so that's our envelope pretty much done. So let's glue on our decoration around here. So what I did was I glued across like that and cut it off, then I glued down like that, cut it off. Yes, I put my glue on first like this. There we go. It'll last long enough for you to get your decoration on. So I glued across one end and then snipped it off like that. Make sure you cover the edge of your thing. That's the idea of doing it, is to cover up the edge so that we can't see the messy bit. Well, I've made a messy bit, you probably haven't. And then trim, that's how I did it anyway. And then across this way and trim. You have to do it pretty quick because that glue does dry. Well, it will, if you put it on a thin layer, it'll dry quick. I put it on quite a thick layer so that it wouldn't. So across to there, just to the end of that flower. There we go, look. How good does that look? Really pleased with that. And then if you want to put a pocket on across here, which again is completely optional, it's entirely optional, you don't have to do it at all. If you do want to do that, you can do it with that same tissue if you've got any left. Hold on, I've got a piece of spare. I've got a piece of spare card that I think might be nearly the size that I need. So if I use that, oh, look at that, that's perfect. Yes, so I've got a piece of card and I'm going to put a piece of this pink, because I haven't got two the same, because they were gifted to me. I'm now going to make a pink pocket, so roughly cut out as much as you need of the napkin so that we're not wasting it. So now we've got our piece of card that is going to be the pocket, and then we've got our piece of napkin. Make sure you take the backing off it, make sure you get it the right way up, and then I'm just going to glue that card and put the napkin on it. I just need to, do you know, I'm terrible, I can't cut a straight line to save my life, I can't, honestly. Never mind. It'll be all right, it'll be all right. And then glue your card. I do find this glue is great. If you use a wet glue, it does tend to wrinkle up your paper. This doesn't, and that makes it easier for your napkin to go on. I always use that for napkins. That's just my preference, but I do. And then it does say on the bottom of there, I'm home compostable, so I'll try and cut that bit off. There we are, look how smoothly that's gone on there, no trouble at all. So now I can trim around it. As I say, if I'd had any of this napkin left, I would have done it in that, but I'm using a contrast because that's what I have. So then that's our pocket made. Let's glue down the pocket. Either one of these glues will do for that. I'm just going to use this one. And we just need a bit round the edge, the bottom and the other edge. Make sure you do it the right way round because I often don't. And then glue it on into position like that. And then you can decorate it any way that you want to. It's entirely up to you how you do it. I have got some pink backing paper, and I have got some words that I printed out on the computer. So I'm going to use these words, this phrase that I've seen somewhere before. I've used it before and I loved it. So another one I really like is be the rainbow in someone else's cloud. I like that one. So I've cut that out and left a bit of a border around it, a bit of a white border around it. I'm going to do the same with my notes because I'm going to put this on my notebook and I want it to have a pink border around it too. So there we go. So then the next thing I'm going to do is glue these. This is just origami paper. It's not anything too thick or anything, it's just origami paper. Now I printed it out in pink because I'm trying to add more pink to it because I've got this pink here and I've got pink around here, I've got pink in there. It looks odd if there's not enough pink, if you see what I mean. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to glue that on there, and then I'm going to cut a border of pink around it, and I'm going to do the same with the notes, the word notes. And then I'm going to cut them out, as I say, with a border around them. I've made a right pig's ear of that look, I really have. There we are. So pop that to the side a minute and cut this one out. Let's have a look. And then I'm going to pop that right in the middle of there like that. Yeah, so let's do that. You can decorate yours any way you want. You could put some flowers and butterflies on it, whatever you want. It's entirely up to you. Do something to match your, you know, your journal that you're going to put it in. If it's a gift for someone, do it in something they like. Just thought that was a really nice saying to have on there. And then for the closure, I've got my little bowl and I've got my paper clip, which I can pop on there like that. That's going to be the closure for it. And then I've got a little bulb pin, and I have got, you have to work from the front to the back, so put your beads on first. So I've got 2 little pink beads to go on there, and then I've got some bits to layer up. And go front to back, as I say. So your smallest bit first. I think that's probably my smallest bit. We'll go with that. Then I've got a little tag. Then I've got a bit of lace, which I love. Always do like to have a bit of lace in. And then I've got that as well, if just in case I need it. Yeah. Nothing great was ever accomplished without enthusiasm. Yes. And then I can clip that onto the end of my paper clip like that. And then I'm going to tie a little pink bow on there as well. I do have some pink ribbon ready, so let's cut that to about the length we think we need. Yeah. There we go. And then tie it onto the base of your paper clip. Try and get it into the middle. You can actually slide it on like this, look, before you tie it. So you tie a little knot first. This is just how I do it. You do you. Tie a little knot. Try and keep it in the middle. And then we do the one bunny ear. We go from the back to the front and then through the back again, through the little hole we've made at the back, and pull. And then we should have a pretty little bow. Perfect. So that is that done. Now all we need to do is make the notebook to go inside it, which is a very straightforward operation, she says confidently. So I've got my cover, which is my card folded in half. I measured the width of my notebook twice and added half an inch onto it. And then I measured the length and added a gnat's ear to it. Then you can, and then when you cut it out, you can fold it in half and you can either sew in your signature, you can glue it in, or if you've got one of those fancy staplers, you can staple it in. And I do have one of those fancy staplers, which I love. I love that stapler. I've got too much paper there. Yes, I think I have. Maybe we don't need quite so much yet. I've got, I think I got it on Temu, you know, where I get everything. Temu or Vinted. So I have one of these. It's nothing too scientific, but it's fabulous how it works. I love it. Right, so I don't want my notebook sticking out the side, so I'll pop that in there like that and give it a good press. Yeah, perfect. And then the other side, pop it in like that. There we go, just make sure it's well bent. So that's my basically that's my notebook made. You can make your notebook as plain or as fancy as you like. I love this paper and think it's fancy enough as it is, all I'm going to do is stick the word notes on there so that people know that it's a notebook really, and add a bit more pink. That was my plan. So that's what I'm going to do there. There we go. I'll glue this. I've glued it to my mat, of course. I would do that, wouldn't I? Make a complete mess of it. Right, and then I'm going to glue this onto here. Like that. Make sure it's nice and flat. And then we're done. All we need to do is pop our book into our little accordion pocket made from a junk journal envelope and a napkin. And then I'm going to pop on my closure. There we go. We're all done. What do you think? I do hope you'll have a go at making one, and I do hope that you followed along and didn't find it too confusing. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.